All right, good afternoon, traders. Today is October 20th, 2025. My name is John Carignan. I'm the lead instructor here at the BYOB Trading Room. Thank you for being here today. Appreciate that. Thank you, all my paying subscribers. Appreciate that gratefully. I'm grateful for all of you. All right, so trying to make the room better. All right, need to call out more trades. I understand all of it. I heard all of you today. Thank you for your feedback. All right, let's take a look at the markets. How I made 1K with a 27K account today. Really is about 2K. But we'll take a look at price action today for SPY. All right, we got consolidation over prior consolidation. Let's talk about that. You got consolidation here. Up over prior consolidation here, over prior consolidation here, over prior consolidation here. Okay, so this is a bullish bias going into tomorrow. Okay, so we'll see how that goes. Currently, we got, I'm going to call it a bullish flag, so I'm going to call it 10-minute bullish consolidation right up there on the 10-minute chart. On the 2-hour chart, we have a 2-hour uptrend. Notice the 3 EMA is up over the 8 EMA, so we have a 2-hour uptrend going into the close. On the daily chart, all right, we're finally closing in the upper third. This is bullish. Okay, so that's bullish right there, closing in the upper third. Price action, we'll see if they can hold this tomorrow. Okay, it's imperative that they hold it up here in the upper third. Okay, we're in a downtrend on the daily chart because we made a low and we made a lower low. So with the lower low, that makes us in a downtrend. But the good news is we're not moving down, we're moving up. Okay, so on SPY on the daily chart, moving up. Tomorrow we got Netflix earnings in the evening, so that's a market mover, so keep an eye on that. So daily chart in a downtrend, but not moving down. So that's nice. That's a nice look right there. On the weekly chart, still in an uptrend. See the green dots, top of quadrant 5. That's bullish. Okay, and still in an uptrend on the weekly chart. On the daily chart, reminder, downtrend, but not moving down. Okay, monthly chart is bullish. All right. Up at the top of quadrant 4, bullish and in an uptrend there for the monthly chart. All right, let's take a look at price action today, how we traded it. I'll go back to right here. Igniting candle over the base. I said I'm taking the breakout, and we traded a continuation of the 10-minute uptrend up over VWAP, up here to these highs, consolidated, and then we got another breakout in the afternoon. So there's price action for the SPY. Beautiful 10-minute uptrend. Wound up being a trend day. Okay, so price actually just kind of consolidated into a trend day setup, and we got a little more consolidation over prior consolidation in the late afternoon over the morning hours. So that was nice. Not going to close at the high of the day at the end of the day. Obviously, we're getting a breakdown right now. So there's the 10-minute chart. That's how we traded it today. We had a price breakout right over the base. If you put a line up right here, okay, you can see that was the top of the range, and you can see price broke out. That was a buy. That was an entry, okay, right there on that first candle, breaking out with a continuation of the 10-minute uptrend. That right there was green erases red. You got 2 red candles, and green erased them with an igniting candle to the upside. So there's SPY on the 10-minute chart. That was the entry right there. Let's take a look at QQQ. QQQ, kind of the same deal. Had a 2-candle pullback on the 10-minute chart, igniting candle up over the base. Again, the top line up here, you can see right up there, breaking out over the top range. That was an entry right up here on QQQ. Nice 10-minute uptrend right there. That rallied right into the close, or right into the afternoon till about 2 o'clock, and then it was time to give it up. There's QQQ. So closing 10-minute, call it a 10-minute downtrend coming into the close. Okay, surprised the bulls aren't buying this up. We'll see what happens in a few minutes. We'll take a look at SPY. SPY looking more like bullish consolidation up there. QQQ actually looking like bullish consolidation as well. On the 2-hour chart for QQQ, 2-hour uptrend right there. Nice 2-hour uptrend. Candles in the 3 up over the 8, up over the rising 17 EMA for QQQ. Daily chart. QQQ never got below a low because the first low you come to is down here. So they're still in an uptrend. And you can see QQQ taking a whack at the all-time high right here. Okay, really close to taking out the all-time high. QQQ on the daily chart, still in an uptrend, top of quadrant 4, still bullish, still in an uptrend. Weekly chart, green dots here for the 17 EMA, top of quadrant 4, that's bullish, still in an uptrend. Monthly chart, see the green dots, top of quadrant 4, still bullish, still in an uptrend on QQQ monthly chart. Okay, favorite trade for QQQ and SPY is the 10-minute uptrend over VWAP that resides inside the 2-hour uptrend, that resides inside the daily uptrend, that resides inside the weekly uptrend, inside the monthly uptrend. Okay, now on SPY, we don't have a daily uptrend, but we got a daily downtrend that's not moving down, which is just as good. All right, so there's QQQ, and I like all of that over the all-time high anchored VWAP. That would be my premium setup, okay, to see price up over the all-time high anchored VWAP. So you can see right here, if I put a, well, I got the candle here. Price action is up over the all-time high anchored VWAP. That's the pink line. Got uptrend right here on the 2-hour. So 2 hours in an uptrend. 10-minute was in an uptrend earlier today. Now it's just kind of bull flagging over to the right. Okay, let's take a look at IWM. All right, IWM, little consolidation up on top of all of this consolidation right here. That's bullish. IWM has a little 10-minute uptrend right there. Again, consolidation right there into the close. That's bullish consolidation, by the way. On the daily chart, we'll take a look at here. And we've got a higher low, higher high, closing over a bullish trap. Over the rising 17, top of quadrant 4. That's bullish and still in an uptrend on IWM. Diamond Dow still in a Diamond Dow in an uptrend because they put in a higher high today. Okay, so price action, they were in a downtrend. See the low? They made a lower low. Okay, finally came in, put in a lower high, and they took out the high today. So that puts them back into an uptrend. Higher low, higher high, closing over a bullish trap, over the rising 17, over the all-time high anchored VWAP, up here at the top of quadrant 4. I'll zoom way out so you can see it. Top of quadrant 4. This is 1, 2, 3, 4. Top of quadrant 4. That's bullish and still in an uptrend on Diamond Dow. FNGU. All right, FNGU, higher low, higher high, closing over a bullish trap. Okay, over the rising 17, still in a downtrend. Okay, because they got a low, they made a lower low, so they're still in a downtrend until they take out this high. FNGU on the daily chart, closing over the trap, over the 17, top of quadrant 4. All right, so that's still kind of neutral bullish. All right, because we look at the pullback here from the high to the low, and it doesn't appear as though they're in the upper third. Well, I'm going to give it to them. That's bullish, but still in a downtrend that's not moving down. So there's FNGU. Bullish and in a downtrend that's not working. Okay, so that's nice for the bulls right there. Top of quadrant 4. I'll zoom out. You can see here's the low. Up here is the high. Top of quadrant 4. That's bullish over that consolidation right there. That's a nice look. See all this consolidation, all these candles. They got up and they lost it. Now they're back up there again. That is really bullish right there. Okay, so looking like a gap up that never got filled by the bears right there on FNGU. Same with SPY. Okay, SPY on the 10-minute. Let's take a look at this. Notice this would be gap filled down here. Gap up, never got filled by the bears. QQQ. Come on. Anyways, QQQ, yeah, gap up, never got filled by the bears. See that? That's a bullish environment right there whenever you see that. So there's QQQ. IWM, think got the same deal. Yes. Okay. IWM, bullish gap up, not filled by the bears. That makes it a bullish environment. Think about longs, look for those 10-minute uptrends. That's IWM. All right, let's take a look at silver and gold. So we'll start off with gold, and we'll put it up on the daily chart. Okay, gold making a new all-time high, closing top of quadrant 4. That's bullish, still in an uptrend. Silver making an inside day, lower high, higher low, closing over a bullish trap, over the rising 17, top of quadrant 4. That's bullish and still in an uptrend. UNG putting in a higher low, higher high, closing over the 17 and over a bullish cross right here. That was an all-time low right there 2 days ago. Well, there's Friday. That was Thursday right there. So price action, that's a pretty good size candle right there. Higher low, higher high, closing over the trap. Still down here in quadrant 4. All right, or excuse me, quadrant one down here, and still in a downtrend. So still bearish, still in a downtrend. Even with that beautiful candle today, closing over the 17 and over the bullish cross right there. Let's take a look at USO. Okay, USO down here, lower high, lower low, closing underneath a bearish trap, underneath the 17 EMA. Down here in the lower third, that makes it bearish. And still in a downtrend. Okay, you got a low right here, and they made a lower. You got a low right here. They made a lower low, so that's a downtrend and still bearish on USO. Let's take a look at technicals. Let's go over here to T2101. Wow, look at that. That is hard to read. What do you make of that, traders? Have you seen anything like that before? That's some funkerdoodles right there. All right, the market was bullish today, and I'm going to call this a higher high because this was Friday's, that right there was Friday's momentum or market breadth. So that right there is an increase in market breadth and prices rising. So that is very bullish right there. Never seen candles like this before. That's some wild data or price action right there. So market breadth increasing, obviously, making a higher high. And you can see the markets, SPY, moving up today. So nice to see that the market breadth is moving up when the market is moving up. Kind of nice sign right there that the market's moving up and the breadth and participation as well. You can see here's the gap fill. They did open up where they left off yesterday. T2122. I'm expecting some bullish. Well, T2122 got a bullish wind up here. You can see price action on the 15. Up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down. Making a little bit squeaky micro higher lows here and keeps knocking on the door of the buy zone. So we knocked on the door of the overbought zone and then the buy zone and then near the buy zone and then in the buy zone and in the buy zone and in the buy zone and then in the buy zone. That is bullish. Okay. And you can see all of the price action up over the midpoint. It's the 50-yard line. So that is bullish with consolidation to the upside. Every time I say it, I'm thinking we're coming up here tomorrow, buy zone and bot zone. Of course, I said that back here, and we never made it. Okay, so we'll see what happens. This one's a little bit different, all right, in that it's making higher lows. All right, so I can see price getting pushed into the buy zone and the overbought zone tomorrow. So tomorrow should be bullish. That's looking good for tomorrow for the bulls. T21.23. Got a low down here, so I guess it's in an uptrend because we got a low and we made a high, and so made a higher high because we have a high here, we have a low here, so there's a low, made a higher low, there's a high, and we made, you can see up here, we made higher high. You can see daylight between the crosshairs, all right, and the previous candles over here. So T21.23, 15-minute, no longer in a downtrend, starting a little uptrend there. Not a very strong uptrend. Price action was bullish gap up, and then they filled the gap right here in price action, and we're heading back up towards this fading 200 SMA. Still down here in, from the perspective of the all-time high to the pullback low, still down here in quadrant 1, all right, which makes us kind of bearish at the time. Need to be up over the 200, need to escape the lower third. T21.23. Still showing signs of bearishness down here in quadrant 1. If I zoom out, you can see the bigger picture. Well, you can't see it yet. You'll see it on the 3-bar chart. 3-bar chart, you can see price action still up in, this was 1, 2, 3, 4, still up in quadrant 4, so that's bullish on the 3-bar chart. And we'll take a look at the price action here. Again, we're still in a downtrend because we haven't made a higher high. So there's T21 3-bar, still in a downtrend, still caught underneath the 200 SMA, still down here in, still down here in quadrant 1. So that's still bearish from this perspective, but bullish from down here, looking at it, price consolidating up here in quadrant 4. Really would have loved to see this get up over the 200. Kind of disappointed that they let the 17 cross underneath it. Hopefully we can get some inspiration from the bulls based on the market breadth right here making a higher high with prices increasing, and T21.22 knocking on the buy zone and the overbought zone right here. So we'll see what happens tomorrow. The outlook does look bullish, but this does not. Right here, T21.23, 3-bar chart. Okay, FNGU, that's bullish. Up here, consolidating in a bull flag up over the flat 200 and over prior consolidation. That's bullish up here. So that's a good look for FNGU. So that looks promising tomorrow right there, FNGU. All right, so we'll see what happens. The good news back on T21.23, 3-bar, okay, from the perspective of this low, it's not a very high bar to set, that they did move up and held the higher ground here. But all in all, nothing impressive. I would have loved to seen them up here above this green line, right on the same latitude as this area right here. And it didn't happen. So, but FNGU obviously showing us an uptrend here and closing over the 200 SMA on the 15-minute chart, and obviously another bullish gap up that never got filled by the bears, giving us some bullish sentiment with the consolidation over prior consolidation. This is really looking healthy for tomorrow. All right, so FNGU, I think tomorrow winds up being another green day to the upside. I wouldn't be surprised to see price action in QQQ and SPY print some new highs, okay, on tomorrow sometime, probably before Netflix reports. That's FNGU. As long as we don't get any negative tariff news coming out of China and USA, I think this is looking good for tomorrow. We'll see what happens. So that's FNGU. All right, so that's it for me, traders. I want you all to have a good day. Did anybody make some money today? I heard some people made some money. but then they lost it in the afternoon to have a negative day. But I think some people, you made some money. Alpha Dog made a goal. Way to go. All right. Tex, yes, sir. Got 2 goals. Love it. Anybody else make any money today? I'd love to hear the good news. If you got it, share it, because I want to hear it. Anybody else? Nobody? Anybody? Anybody here? If you're within the sound of my voice and you made a daily goal, please share it. Remember when you went to school and they used to do that? Rod, whoa, Rod, way to go. Nice day. That's a that's a really impressive day. Way to go, Rod. Love it. 10-minute uptrend, Rod. Was that your the flavor of the day? Yeah. All right. Love it. Love it, Rod. Love it when when the concept and the strategy comes together to make somebody 10K. I mean, if that doesn't speak volumes that the strategies work here in the BYOB Trading Room, way to go. Nice. Nice. Scott got a daily goal. Love it. 10-minute uptrend. Love it, Scott. Thank you for sharing, everybody. I will see you all tomorrow, and I'm telling you, it's looking bullish tomorrow. I'd like to see some consolidation over consolidation. I would not be surprised to see us move up again tomorrow based on what I'm looking at here. That's looking really good for tomorrow. And what I saw in the market breadth right here, making a higher high while price is moving up. That shows me more participation. And right here on T2122, that looks like a wind up to the upside. So I'm looking at a lot of things that should look positive coming into tomorrow morning. So it should be a good day. After Netflix reports, I don't know. Things could fall apart or things could, carry on. We'll see. We may find ourselves at maybe 680 sometime this week. We'll see. All right. Okay, traders. Until tomorrow, everybody have a beautiful evening. Thank you for being here.